vote.
Right.
We don't know for sure. We don't even know for sure which deadline has been set. I don't know if you've noticed, but there have been conflicting reports on that.
23rd or the 24th.
Jeff Carlisle and ESPN reported that it's 12:01 on March 23rd. It's being widely reported today that it actually is the day that the season starts, which would be the first regularly scheduled MLS game on March 25th. So we don't know for sure. My sources tell me that earlier 23rd date is looking pretty solid. That's our countdown clock on luchametric.com that we've put is tied to that earlier date, but we don't know for sure.
Okay, well, let me ask you this. One thing I thought was interesting in all the discussion yesterday regarding David Beckham and his injury, about how it affects the Milan, how it affects England, blah, blah, blah. The only thing I really am interested in now, I mean, this guy was going to be a fringe player at best on this England squad. His bigger role right now would be with MLS. He's not, I don't believe, going to play in this season. Does this change either way, do you think, the owner's position? Here it is, the cash cow who's not going to probably play this season. Also, or do they say, well, now that we don't have the cash cow, we need to dig our heels in and be even stronger?
That's an interesting question, Stephen. And if you look at it, AEG owns the Los Angeles Galaxy. Am I right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And clearly the statements that were made in the press today by their CEO indicate that the players have got their attention, that they recognize that a strike actually is a very realistic possibility here. And David Beckham is their central franchise property. And so I suppose it may have an effect. It's a really interesting question. I don't know one way or the other which effect it might have.
But what do you think? I mean, do you think it's more likely, the Beckham injury? Do you think it's more likely to help the union or to
probably helps the union, because anything that on the near horizon that does not bode well for the economic fortunes of the MLS or individual teams within the MLS weakens the ability of the owners to sustain any type of a work stoppage. And I would think it would make them think twice about a work stoppage. And if I could say one thing, we report on our website today that Josh Wolf was on Fox Football Phone-In, which, by the way, Kenny, is not the product it was under your talent, but nonetheless,
that was Stephen was on it. Stephen was on it, not me.
Excuse me, Stephen. Excuse me.
Yeah.
But the
I didn't even get a sniff.
No, you didn't.
I didn't even get a sniff at it. They wouldn't even let me hold the fucking camera. Let me ask you.
Did you see the comments that Wolf made?
I don't watch that show.
But guys,
they're on our website, and if you look at what people like Wolf and Casey Keller and Nick Garcia are saying, it's very clear.
Right. Well, let me ask you this:
the union is very serious. If they do not have a new bargaining agreement, they will strike. Okay, people need to understand this.
Yeah, but people needing to understand it and people actually hearing it are two different things right now. Why aren't the players' union and more bigger players like Keller, why are they not using the mainstream media to get this message out right now and bring visibility to this?
Yeah, I think that's just,
it's an absolutely PR catastrophic disaster.
Kenny's completely right, and this is one of the points we've been talking about, which is, quite frankly, that the union, and forgive me for saying this, the union are going to get exactly what they deserve because they just don't know how to play this game. They don't know how to play this game.
Well, I wouldn't go that far, guys. I mean, I think the union, I absolutely agree with you, the union could have done a better job of communicating here, but you have to keep in mind that they are under a gag order, and they have agreed to a gag order. Both parties have now. My sources tell me that it is the bosses in the league who insisted on this, and the union went along with it reluctantly. But there is a gag order, and so you do have to understand that's part of the reason that they have not been as vocal. However, there's a lot that the union could have been doing, should be doing to communicate its position, to get its position out there that would not run afoul of the gag order with a wink and a nudge. And they haven't done that. And why they haven't done that, I don't know. A friend of mine speculates that they just have made a calculation that, in my opinion, is a miscalculation, that strategically their interests are best served by this silence. I disagree with that. I think that their position is so strong that if people just knew the player's position, the pressure on the league would be so much greater, and they would have a greater likelihood of success.
And, mate, my point to you is that they have been absolutely dire at getting that point across. I mean, hey, listen, we are the only daily show of its kind in this country. The only daily radio show of its kind dealing with this subject. I kid you not. And we've had Eddie Pope on for about 2 seconds once where he couldn't say anything. Neil Hare, or whatever his name is, won't come on. I can't get Eddie Pope anymore. They need to be getting their word and their position out, and they're not.
Well, your listeners can't see this, but those of you tuning in on Ustream and you, Stephen and Kenny in the studio and Rafa can see I'm wearing a mask. Well, why am I wearing a mask? This culture,
because you're a lunatic.
They have made it clear. The owners have made it clear they will not tolerate dissent, and I'm one of the only people that can step forward and make this case for the players, and so that's what we're going to do.
Are you trying to tell me that you are concerned about recriminations once this is all over? Recriminations
Absolutely.
in which way? You're a season ticket holder, I assume, at the Crew.
You don't think they'd pull your season ticket, do you?
Oh, I do. I think they would do that. Look, I've been thrown out of Crew Stadium for wearing this mask. Okay, I know Mark McCullers. I find him to be an honorable man. He's the general manager of the Crew. In fact, Mark wished me luck by email when I told him I was going on today. He's a stand-up gentleman. But the way they run that organization is by the playbook of the MLS, which is classic late 19th century, boss Tweed style management. And I think they would pull. Did you see the way they cracked down on the Nordecke when there were problems last year? It's just the unfortunate reality.
All right. Well, we really appreciate you coming on the show. Let's hope something gets done. You guys, and hopefully you'll get the word out about our show to your people. But we're also going to have this Professor Andrew Zimbalist on Monday on this show, and he's going to talk about all the ins and outs of CBAs, and he's going to break it down for us, what it is the owners want. And I think he agrees with us in that this is not your normal player-owner situation. We're talking about things that are, as you quite rightly say, mate, are to do with, this would be more akin in communist China than it would be in the United States of America. Hey, we really appreciate you coming on. Thank you very much for your time.
Good luck.
And good luck.
Thank you, gentlemen. I love the show.
Thank you.
Love Stephen and Kenny. Broke my heart when you went away, when the Dirty Scousers chased you off the air. Love that you're back. Love the show. Keep it up, guys.
Hey, let me ask you something real quick. Just stay there. What do the Crew have to do to win a second MLS Cup in 3 years? What do they have to do this year?
Well, the Crew has done a remarkable job, but if you look, they've had very few signings, and we'll be doing a preview on this on our site, luchametric.com, here in the next couple of days. But what the Crew needs to do is they need to keep this current squad together. The big thing they needed to do was keep Schelotto, which they did, and they've found a couple really good candidates to make up for the loss of Alejandro Moreno to the Philadelphia Union. They've got Sergio Herrera from Colombia that they can put up top. Steven Lenhart demonstrated his ability to score up top. They might need to get a little bit more strength in the middle. I'm not so sure about Adam Moffat, with all due respect to the gentleman from Scotland. Not so sure about Moffat and his ability in the middle. Still a little weak there. We got to keep strong in the back, maybe strengthen up the middle, and remain injury free. And I think we can go all the way again this year. Go Crew!
You got it. All right,
good luck.
thanks very much.